Hey guys, welcome to the Mr. Mortgage Podcast. We are here with Joe Ryder from Goosehead Insurance. We're going to just ask him all the questions we need. He's going to give us some great information about your homeowner's insurance. Listen, man, we're just blessed to have him at a time like this. We had to postpone last week, and you know what, man, it was a blessing in disguise because now we have him here, and man, we just couldn't ask for a better time. So stay tuned, and let's hopefully we'll have a great informational evening. And if you guys have any questions, man, do not hesitate to drop a line. All right, guys, we'll be with you in 1 second. All right, we're here. Let me introduce you to Mr. Joe Ryder with Goosehead Insurance. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Joe, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? Again, my name's Joe Ryder with Goosehead Insurance. A pleasure to be on here. Thanks for inviting me on here, Paul. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
glad to be able to share some knowledge with everybody. Hopefully, they can get something that is worthwhile.
And right now, for real, right now we all need it.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. A little bit about myself. Married, got one son. He's 8 years old. He's into soccer and basketball and softball, baseball. So I just been, hang out with him, coach his teams. Had our first soccer practice last night, so that's pretty exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. How was it?
It was good. We got a good group of kids this year, so it should be pretty competitive.
How old are they?
8. They're 8 years old. Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about it before. That's like about the time where they kind of start getting it.
Yeah.
I remember coaching my daughter's team. I don't know if Kevin's watching, but man, I coached with Kevin Cartwright, and it was, the girls were probably first, second, third grade, somewhere around there, and it was just a mass of little girls kicking at a ball, and they would just kind of go back and forth and just running everywhere, and it's like herding cats, man. It was man, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. And just to have time to do something like that, and be involved in your kids. I mean, listen, man, that's awesome, man. Enjoy it, because eventually they turn to teenagers, and they don't want to participate in anything, or So, anyways, definitely, man, enjoy the time you get to coach the teams.
Definitely, man. Very blessed to be able to do that.
Oh man. Okay, so we have a action-packed evening as far as questions and a lot of things that are going on right now. Me personally, I had my my rental property. Luckily here, my house are, and just like everybody else, I know there's thousands of people have the same type of, stories that, our electricity went out, and on last Sunday evening, and it didn't come back on. It didn't come back on till I think Wednesday or Thursday. Luckily, we have a gas fireplace, so we were able to stay warm with that, and you just in survival mode. Water was still on, but and it was just cold water running, and we just kind of survived through it. Luckily, our electricity came back on around Wednesday, Thursday, and when it did, water went out. Pipes were busting everywhere, and they had the city had to fix their water, and so then we had to deal with the not having water, but having electricity. And so, man, listen, I know there's thousands and thousands of stories just like that of people all over Texas. And this is something that I've never seen before. And I just don't think that, we were prepared for something like this. It's crazy, definitely crazy. And even had a lot of damage at my rental property as well. A pipe busted in the attic, and the water ran for 2 hours in the kitchen, just running, and you don't even realize, in times like that, what do you do? I mean, eventually he was able to get the water turned off, but, and then they were out of water because we couldn't get a plumber out. So for at least 3 or 4 days before we can get his repair. And all of this just to say, like, you don't know what you don't have until you need it, right? You don't know, are you with the right insurance company? Are they going to cover you? Until you have a catastrophic event like that, you just don't know. Like, so that's definitely, something to think about. And again, everybody takes it for granted, right? You just take it for granted. You pay your insurance, it's, in your mortgage, and you just don't even think about it. Nobody does until you need it,
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the home is the biggest investment someone can make, right? So
yeah,
you want to make sure that it's insured properly and you have the right coverages. And unfortunately, I see it all the time where people are just undercovered. They have gaps in their insurance, and something like this happens, and then all of a sudden, they don't know what to do. They don't know how they're going to fix it. They don't know how they're going to handle it. But had they have taken a few extra minutes at the beginning and got the right policy and asked the right questions, which, don't get me wrong, it is very tough to ask the right question because it's so complicated with insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially homeowners insurance. They would have been in a way better position. So,
yeah, I mean, and when in the midst of all the chaos and trying to get, insurance coverages and claims, and that's just the wrong time. That's the wrong time to find out that you're undercovered, or that you're going to have to pay out of pocket more than you thought. Now is not the time to be having surprises, especially, with, man, it's just been a perfect storm with COVID and people out of work. And then they have a claim that maybe the insurance is not covered because they didn't have the proper coverages, or were undercovered, or maybe, deductibles were, I mean, it's just, now is definitely not the time. But listen, it's a wake up call, right? It's a wake up call to, to get things in order, right? And just to, so you can kind of take a step back and reflect and say, hey, listen, man, maybe I do need to go over this stuff and see, hey, what is my coverage, and get a better understanding of what it is, and kind of take some responsibility to do that. And again, like I said, man, most people don't. And listen, I'm myself included. Like, hey, I pay insurance, man. It's supposed to be covered, right? Right? Yeah. Well, not always. And there's a lot of people that have gone through those same scenarios. As a matter of fact, I got a little video that we'll watch and see, and really, see the depth of kind of what, what happened here last week.
Yeah.
What if it happens to you? What if it's already happened? Team reporter Ginger Allen spoke with an insurance expert to get some advice for all of us.
Everybody's pipes are bursting. It's flooded. It's flooded. You can't step in it.
All of the can lights had water just pouring like a rain shower out of the ceiling.
The temperatures are rising, and experts say so too will the reports of damage.
This one event is probably going to be the most significant, largest insurance claims event in Texas history.
Camille Garcia with the Insurance Council of Texas says she expects hundreds of thousands of claims to be filed.
In terms of pipes related to this winter weather, we may not have seen the worst of it.
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely more to come at this point.
She says make sure you know your policy now. Find out what's covered, the amount of your deductible, and if you have damage, document everything.
Make sure that you take photos, take videos, save receipts.
That includes flooded floors, baseboards, drywall, and paint, and food loss from power outages. While you may need to hire someone now for cleanup and repairs, do not make a long-term agreement.
Don't sign any contracts right now for extended damage repair.
Right now, she says it's all about mitigating the damage and packing your patience. As the calendar fills up for repair crews and insurance adjusters.
We are looking at homeowners, renters, business, auto policies. We're looking at claims inside the house, at claims out on the roadways. So it's going to be significant.
And one more important piece of information she gave is about your insurance check. When you get that first payment for services, do not sign it over to a contractor or anyone. Doing so could put you at a greater risk of fraud right now. I'm Ginger Allen, CBS 11 News.
Hey, Paul, you're muted, bud.
Yeah, I muted my microphone because I was cussing. I was cussing thinking about my rental property, man. And a lot of people, man, a lot of people are in that same situation, and that's just, and my heart goes out. Luckily here at my house, we just dealt with what we had to deal with, but a lot of people are dealing with that exact thing and worse. I've seen no food, no water, and So, anyways, let's get to what we're here for. Let's talk about, now we've seen the worst of it. Let's talk about what we can do to prevent it from here on out. So tell us a little bit about what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they alluded to it in the video there that they're saying that last week alone we'll have more claims than what Harvey caused a few years ago, right? So if you can think about the damage that Harvey did, and just thinking with him, that one event last week, that one storm, will have a higher value of claims than what Harvey did. So definitely, you're going to have people that are in the same situation you did, right? Like that's horrendous to have the water coming out of the can lights and whatnot. So,
sure.
Yeah. But to your point, having the right coverage is important. Most of the, pipe breaking and things like that should be covered under your water coverage of sudden and accidental water loss, right? I would say probably 90% of the policies in the state of Texas will have that coverage on there, as long as they're an HO3 policy. Some HOA policies will have them as well. But that's definitely, one coverage that, you can make sure that you have on your policy to get, that'll cover, that incident there with the pipes busting and things. It's important for folks to know that the sudden and accidental water damage coverage only covers the damage. It doesn't necessarily cover the pipe that broke, right? Fortunately, though, the pipe that broke is very inexpensive, super cheap. Right. You're more worried about getting the floors done, the cabinets redone, the baseboards, things like that. The more expensive items on that list that are damaged. When it comes to deductibles, there's really 3 deductibles in the state of Texas on your insurance policy. You have your first one, which is your all perils deductible. You have your named storm deductible, as well as a wind and hail deductible. Sometimes your all perils and your named storm peril, your deductibles will be the same. But it's important to identify that when you're going through your policy. The difference between what it is wind and hail is simply exactly what it is. It's any wind or hail damage to the home. The named storm would be hurricanes, right? If it caused any damages to your home that way. The all perils is, again, it's everything else outside of that would be your deductible for that particular item. So this is where that would fall into play. So in this scenario, it's important to know what your all peril deductible is, because that's going to be your portion of what you'd have to cover. So.
What are usual deductibles? That you usually see?
Yeah, great question. The typical deductible it's actually a percentage. It's the lowest, like wind and hail you can typically get in the state of Texas is a 1% wind and hail deductible. And what that 1% is, it's not 1% of the total claim. It's 1% of the coverage A, or the rebuild cost of your home that they're insuring your home for. So it could vary for every homeowner. Every policy is going to be a little different. The all perils deductible as well, typically is a percentage at 1%. I've seen them at $500 or $1,000, just a straight dollar amount. But a lot of times those are going to be a little bit more expensive than if you do the traditional 1% deductible. And then same thing for the named storm deductible as well.
So let's say somebody has a claim, right? And they see that they're undercoveraged, or their deductible is higher than they expected. What can they do to go about getting those adjusted? Now, I'm pretty sure you can't do anything now before you pay your claim or before the claim is paid, but you sneak it in. But I'm sure you can't do that. But what's the what would be the process if somebody saw that, hey, listen, they weren't covered, or their insurance wasn't covered for what they thought it was?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. Any prior damage that happened last week and whatnot, obviously you couldn't adjust your deductible. A lot of companies wouldn't allow us to do adjustments or any edit or any endorsements to the policy. So that would unfortunately fall into what you had previously. But moving forward, once those claims are paid, then you can start making changes to your policy. At that point, my recommendation is call me. Right, we'll take a look at it, see what we can find. Go through the process, see if there's a better option for you, and then truly go over each coverage so that you can customize that to what your family's needs are. Because again, everybody's going to be a little bit different, right? But yeah, definitely would highly recommend taking a look at your all perils deductible, your wind and hail deductible, and some of your water coverages that come with your policy. And if you don't see those on there, like I said, my number's going across the bottom of the screen, my email's going across the bottom of the screen. Please feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. Send me your policy. We'll walk through it together, and I'll try to explain it, and then we can kind of go from there. So.
Yeah, because it sounds complicated, like just to the average home buyer, like all of these insurance jargon is it's, again, like I said, it's not something we think about every day. So yeah, that's definitely important. So options. I mean, what are our options? How many options? What do you have available for clients if they were to give you a call?
Yeah, definitely. One of the benefits that I have is working with Goosehead. Goosehead is the largest independent broker in the state of Texas, an insurance broker in the state of Texas. What that means for the client is instead of working with a captive agency to where they only have one company that they can work with, I work with over 35 different insurance companies over the state of Texas. So what that allows me to do is truly shop the marketplace to make sure that I can get your clients and my clients the best coverage at the lowest premium, right? So I'm going to show you just an example of the importance of why it's important to shop. So I'm going to share my screen here in a second. I'm going to put up a diagram on here. What this diagram is going to show, it's one address that's in my system, that's in our rater system that we have. And you're going to notice that there's about 15 companies on there. I blacked out the company's names so that we don't get in trouble there and nobody can see, hey, which one's better, right? But you're going to also see 15 different yearly premiums for that home. So let me go ahead and share that real quick, and then we can kind of go over that in more detail.
Okay.
All right. All right. Can you see it now, Paul?
Ooh, there it is. All right.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So you can see on the screen here again, I've got the carrier names blacked out so we can't tell which carrier it is. But I do want to emphasize this is the same exact address. Nothing's different. The coverages are the same. Everything is completely the same when it comes to each one of these companies and them returning their rate. You can see the lowest rate is about $1,244 a year. And it goes all the way up to almost $3,100 a year for the same home, right? So this is the power of choice. This is the reason why it's so important to shop your insurance. It's not
now,
that
quick question, is this the same exact coverage amount? Like this is apples to apples comparison?
This is apples to apples comparison. And what I was going to say is each one of these carriers are all A rated, right? It's not like one is inferior to the other. These are all top-notch companies. The reason you see such a difference in premium is that the company at the bottom that's almost 3,100, they may be oversaturated in that area and they don't want to take on any more business. So they're pricing themselves out of the market for any new business, right? The company at the top that's $1,244, they might want to expand their portfolio in that market. So therefore they're pricing their product aggressively to get more people to join, their insurance company, right? So it truly is going to impact your rate just by what company that you're choosing to look at. But to your point, it is apples to apples coverage. Nothing's different, same deductibles, the whole 9 yards. You're just going to get such a wide range of prices just by which company that you're looking at.
And the average homeowner wouldn't have any idea that there's such a huge swing. What is that like? $1,400, $1,300 different for the same coverage, and it more than doubles. And it could your insurance could more than double for the same exact coverage. And if you're not shopping, then you don't know. What you're doing is you're just putting it. You're just adding it to your escrow and you're making payments and just kind of setting it and forgetting it, not even knowing that you could be paying $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 less, $1,600 less a year. Which I mean, 16, 17, almost $2,000 could. I mean, well, how could that impact your family? That's eye opening.
Yeah, it's powerful, right? And what's really crazy is, when someone shops insurance, if you tried to shop it on your own, how many companies are you going to call? Are you going to call 15 companies? Probably not, right? You're probably going to call one or two. Let's say you happen to call the bottom three here, right? That's anywhere between 2,800 and 3,100. You're going to feel like that's what your coverage should be, right? Like, oh, well, that's it. I called three companies that they're about the same rate, so I'm going to go with the $2,800 one, right? However, you make that one phone call to a broker, to myself, I can shop all of my carriers. And this is just the top 15, right? So it goes even farther down and more expensive. But I just wanted to capture kind of the top 15 there. But, I can take a look at it and, in a matter of minutes can find out that, hey, look, company A up here at $1,244 is going to be your best option. Or company, E and F down here, they're not as competitive maybe you thought they were. So.
That is something else. Let me see here. That is so essentially from that bottom tier to that top tier, we're talking almost $155 a month.
Absolutely,
$155 a month that you could be overpaying for your homeowner's insurance.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy.
Well, and just think about that right over the course of your 30-year loan. What does that do to your interest rate, right? Like if you could save an extra $150 on your house payment, right? Because a lot of, again, this is all built in through escrow. What does that do for you?
That's true. Yeah.
I know I certainly would definitely welcome an extra $150 a month. I wouldn't argue.
No, I mean, over a 30-year term, that's $56,000.
Definitely.
That literally is that could be another small home.
Yeah.
That you're overpaying for insurance, not even knowing it. I mean, $56,000. That could be towards a college fund. That could go towards your retirement, not even knowing that. This is the thing though. $55,000 over 30 years, if it was put into the market and you got 10% return on it. That $55,000, that could be $500,000 if that same savings was put. It's probably closer to $300,000, but literally that money could have been put into the market over 30 years, and somebody could retire off that. You know what I'm saying? And this, let's be honest, insurance ain't sexy. It's not fun. Nobody's talking about their insurance at the, whatever. Nobody's bragging about it on Facebook or whatever, because it's just something that has to be done, and people just kind of just set it and forget it and don't even think about it. And they end up paying 20, 30 years of insurance and they could be overpaying. And just by this example alone, that's a lot of money. That's, that could be someone's retirement account. $150 a month over 30 years. That's, over $250,000 at 10% return. That's when you put it in terms like that, then that's huge.
It becomes a little bit more clear and a more priority for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure. And just like you said, how does that affect your APR on your mortgage, what you're actually paying on your mortgage? That's over time too. That's huge. So yeah, I mean that's definitely eye opening. So let's say somebody does want to get some information or wants to take a look and see, like, hey, how can I get my insurance policy looked at? What would be the next step?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the next step would be give me a call, right? I'd be more, like I said, give me a call. My number's going across the bottom there. Email's there. Shoot me an email. Shoot me a text message. Give me a call, and we can take a look at it, right? Obviously, it'd be best if you had your declarations page of your current policy. That way, we can truly dissect that and make sure that you're getting the coverages you need. But it's like I told you earlier, I can, within a matter of minutes, right? I get a lot of the information. I put it in our system. We run the rater, and it returns back within probably less than 10 minutes, right? So within 15, 20 minutes, I can let you know what's competitive for you, with the different coverages that are going to be available to make sure that you can customize that plan. One of the things that I pride myself on with my clients is I'm never just going to shoot my client an email with a quote, with just a number on it, right? I know how complicated insurance can be. And I treat them like family, right? So what I like to do is we schedule a time where we can have a 20 to 30 minute conversation. Again, it might not be the most exciting part of your day, but we're going to walk through it, and we're going to explain the coverages and allow you to customize those so you can add what you want to add and take off what you feel like you don't need. But that way, at the end of the day, at the end of that conversation, you know exactly what your policy is going to cover and what it would cost you if an event happens.
Right. No surprises when you
Exactly.
need it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right. So, Joe, we know it's easy. We know it's quick. We can give you a call. We can save almost $60,000 with a 20-minute phone call. But why Goosehead? Um, there's so many insurance companies out there.
Yeah.
Why, hey, listen, we like you. Hey, but at the end of the day, people want to, they want to know that they're going to be doing business with a solid, reputable company that if and when the event that there is a claim, hey man, you're going to cover it. You're just not going to get me a dirt cheap policy and save me some money, but that you're going to be there when, when the storms do come.
Yeah, great question. A lot of people probably have never heard of Goosehead Insurance, right? They're probably scratching their head and like, who, right?
Right.
But again, we're the largest independent broker. We're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Look us up. We're one of the fastest growing stocks in the country. Doing very well. But some of the benefits of working with Goosehead, there's a few, right? Obviously, you get to work with me. Not to toot my own horn, but like I said, I treat everybody like family. I'm going to be very detailed in your coverage because, as I mentioned earlier, this is your most important purchase you're probably going to make in your life, right? So I understand that I would want that to be covered sufficiently, so I'm going to make sure that you're covered sufficiently, right? The benefits of Goosehead is again, one is the power of choice. We talked about that. I showed the graphic, the difference in premium and making sure that you're getting the best coverage at the lowest rate. One of the things we pride ourselves on is looking at your whole insurance portfolio, right? We know which levers to pull to get you discounts, how to get things done, and add the right coverage. So when I say look at the whole portfolio, we'll look at your auto insurance as well. It's not unusual for us to turn around and save someone $30 to $50 a month on auto insurance on top of the savings on the home, right? So now instead of looking at that $1,500, $1,600, $2,000 a year savings, add an extra $500, $600 a year onto that, or what? Now you're looking almost to a $3,000 a year saving. So we're definitely going to look at bundling those together, putting it together. By putting your home and your auto insurance bundled together, you could save up to 20% on both policies, right? The beauty of Goosehead as well is we know that the insurance system or model as it was is broken, right? You shouldn't have to call and you shouldn't have to talk to 15 different people, from claims to, your insurance agent. And is your insurance agent going to answer? How are they going to help you through the process? What can they do? Are they just going to transfer you to a 1-800 number, right? At Goosehead, I have a service team that I work with, either licensed insurance agents. We are able to work around your schedule, right? So one of the cool things is you let me know you want to talk to my service agent, or you call them in. We can actually set a time that they schedule to call you back, right? So again, you're not waiting on hold, right? They're giving you a call back at that specific time to talk about your issue. When they're doing that, they're also your advocate, right? Because as Goosehead is the broker, we're not the one that's insuring your home. We're the broker that's getting you the policy to insure your home. So our carriers that we work with, again, are all A-rated carriers. But you have an advocate in Goosehead. A lot of times we are, because we're such a large brokerage, we're their biggest client, right? So when we call and we say, hey, so-and-so has this going on, where are we at in the process? Let's get this taken care of. It's been so long. They're going to listen a little bit more, right? Because we're a huge client for a lot of these folks. So they're going to kind of make sure that we're getting our clients taken care of. Not that they wouldn't on the outside of it either, but it just adds to have someone that's an advocate to help follow up for you, right?
Little sense of urgency.
Exactly, right? Well, but the other part is, you want to file the claim and you want it to be taken care of without having to call 15 times, right? So you file the claim. Our service team sets reminders to follow up every couple of days or every 2 to 3 days with the insurance company to find out what's going on. And then they relay that information to you. So it's less work on your part, right? It's a one-stop shop. You call, we try to take care of most of it for you, and just be that advocate. So it's a little less stressful. The other benefit is when you call an insurance company to inquire about whether or not to make a claim, they will then go ahead and put a claim on your record. I don't know if you know that, right? So if you're calling, even if they don't pay out, they'll put it as a zero payout claim for whatever issue. So in this scenario, it might be a water claim, right? Well, that water claim at a $0 payout might have an effect on your premium moving forward, even if you switch to a different company. When you call Goosehead, what our service agents will do, they'll walk you through kind of what your coverages are, what your deductible is, kind of have you get an appraisal and whatnot ahead of time, and then let you make an educated decision is, okay, hey, your deductible is $2,000. You got an appraisal for $1,500. It probably doesn't make sense to make a claim on your insurance, right? You're going to come out cheaper and you're not going to have to suffer that premium. So therefore, when you call us, we're not your insurance company. We don't have to document anything like that. So therefore, that claim's not going to be on your record. You've come through us to help mediate it. Now, on the flip side, if it's a $10,000 claim that's going to need to happen and it's a $2,000 deductible, we're going to help you file that claim, get the process done, and do the follow-up with you, and kind of recommend that that's the route you take. So,
and that's awesome. I mean, just think, and I think the most frustrating part with insurance in general is when you do have to file a claim, and it's just a lack of communication. And in some insurance companies, you go to file the claim and you speak to one person, you call them an hour later and it's another person, and they don't know what they said before then, and it's just frustrating. And then the wait time, and I'm pretty sure everybody's waiting right now because there's just not enough people to go around, to get the claims started and moved through. So, but communication is 100% key, and to have a go-to person that that can help you with that process, man. I think that just takes a whole lot of the frustration out of it. As opposed to just sitting by the phone and just waiting. It's just the unknown part of it. For sure.
I think you're spot on with communication, right? I mean, when it comes to the whole claim process, but even before that, if you think of, a lot of people are frustrated with insurance companies because they have an issue or they have a claim and then it's not covered, right? However, had it been communicated by their agent at the beginning and they've walked through the coverages and explained everything to them, they could have taken care of it at the beginning to where it would be covered, or they would understand that it wouldn't be covered and it wouldn't be a huge issue to them, right? They'd go into knowing it, well, hey, we chose not to get that coverage on our policy. We know it's not covered, right? So I think communication is huge when it comes to all aspects at the beginning, throughout the whole process of an insurance policy. So.
And listen, I just want to reiterate. And listen, I know insurance is not, it's not the, it's not the most exciting thing, but man, it's something that we we have to have, and it's it's not just important that you have it, but to know what you have when you get it, because like you said, there's just time wasted, money wasted, and I've heard so many horror stories of people saying, hey, I had insurance for X amount of years, the insurance came out, and they only covered a portion, or they depreciated it, and I only got a small bit after my deductible. Well, but I didn't know that that's how my insurance worked. I just assumed I was paying insurance and it's covered. So you're right, knowing up front, what you have and what you don't have, that alleviates a lot of those surprises at the end. And sometimes those surprises, those financial surprises, can be devastating. Especially times like this. So 100%, man, that's important. That's all great news. That's all great information, Joe. We really definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing that. And we do have your contact information, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever about your insurance policy, and again, like I said, nobody's expecting you to 100% know exactly what you have and how it works. That's why we have guys like Joe to walk you guys through that process, help you understand what you have, what you don't have, and help you, avoid some of the landmines at the worst possible times with, when you have a claim. And again, if anybody has any questions in regards to insurance questions, feel free to, you can type those in now. Joel will answer those questions for you now. If you're a little shy and type shy, that's okay too. You can reach out to Joe. There's his phone number there, 682-213-2558, or
312.
you can
682-312. 312-2558.
682-312-2558. I'm dyslexic.
You're all right.
That's the number there, or you can email them at joe.ryder@gooseheadinsurance.com. Joe, thanks for coming on. I'm pretty sure you're slammed right now with everything that's going on, and so we definitely appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. Giving us some of the kind of some knowledge that you have in regards to what the insurance is, and just helping us get through this, guys. And again, like I said, we appreciate the support. Thank you for everybody for coming on and watching. And again, if you guys are watching this after the live stream, don't hesitate. Reach out to Joe, and I know he'll get you guys taken care of.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on, Paul. I appreciate it. And like you said, no question is a bad question, right? So even if it's something that you're just kind of hesitant on, please don't hesitate. Reach out. I'll be happy to answer it best I can.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, look, people don't, you don't know. To be honest with you, if you asked me what my insurance coverages were right now, I couldn't tell you. And I just bought this house a year ago. I don't even know who my insurance company is.
We can change that. We can change that, Paul.
I'm pretty sure you can. We'll have to talk after. We'll definitely talk after. And for everybody else that doesn't know what insurance they have or what coverages they pay or what their deductible is, and revisit those, give Joe a call. Like you said, he can get you guys taken care of pretty quickly. And man, definitely appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on, Joe.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. So we'll be having our live stream podcast next Thursday, 6:00. We may have some special guests for you guys. Maybe something more, a little bit entertaining than insurance.
Hey now.
No offense. But yeah, man, Joe, listen. At the end of the day, if you can possibly save me $60,000 or $2,000 a year or $160 a month, listen, it's entertaining to me. I'm in. I'm all about saving money. So Man, we definitely appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.